Hey everyone, and welcome to the Procreate demo for the piece I called Just Chillin. So this is a pretty quick one, and it's pretty light overall, so we're just going to generally talk about it, but the next video that I do, I'm going to actually go over a lot of the layer effects I use, so if you're looking for that, because I've talked about doing that soon, that's going to be in the next one, but I just wanted to get something out there, because it's been a while since I've posted a video. Life's been fairly busy, so I haven't really been devoting much time to this stuff. But here we are. This was a relatively quick one that I did while watching Law and Order one night. And so what you can see here is just sort of like a really simple composition. And it's just I started drawing the girl as her full body, but I actually intended to do this zoom in the entire time. I just wanted to try and get the anatomy right. But to be honest, the anatomy is like fairly jacked up in this. So you can see I go through like a lot of revisions on this in the drawing process to try and make sure that I can fix that, reconcile it, just do something to improve it. So you can see here I went from like super rough to like sort of just another rough. This isn't like the cleanest thing. And ultimately where I knew I would go with this was some sort of a sketchy line drawing, not really tight, and then some sort of a very basic coloring method. That's what I sort of knew I was going to go for. So you can see here I bring the shoulders in to try and fix how widespread her shoulders are. And I'm just sort of reblocking it using some of the same points, some of the same like anchoring points, but otherwise altering it and just trying to make sure the anatomy is a little bit more sound. Of course, because I always mention it just to make sure, I did this whole drawing portion using the fat pencil, which the link to my video about that should be in the description below. And then here at this stage, I should say at every stage, you saw me like changing the color of my pencil and adjusting things. That's because I was sort of bringing back some of the methods that I usually use when I work traditionally. So using like a light blue and then switching to like a rose or a carmine red pencil. And so I was just trying to do that again here. So normally it would be something where I do like, if I'm working in a traditional medium, it's like the light blue first, then the carmine red, and then maybe like, you know, a ballpoint pen, or depending on what level to finish I'm going for with it. So you can see here I sort of changed that around a bit. And so with all the roughs and stuff, there was like, I think just like a straight black pencil at one point, and then red and blue and blah blah blah. And now at this point, yeah, my sort of like last rough is with the pink, the red, it's like a rose, and then with a blue on top, and then I switch the blue to a multiply so that I can get some of those like darker values where it overlaps with the rose. So again, you know, I sort of wanted to talk about what was going on in this piece because, you know, I want to try and provide as much information as possible, but this is just like a very basic thing. So really most of the work here went into the drawing and trying to focus on keeping the whole thing feeling like somewhat natural and simple. I think that the hope when you do something like this is that it always comes off as like easy or something, I don't know, like you know, the what you're always going for, like it looks so easy or so simple or whatever, but in reality it's much harder because you don't have like all these tricks and all this bullshit to like support the drawing. So with this, I wanted to sort of at least play in that realm. Not that I was necessarily successful with it, but that's sort of where I wanted this piece to be. I wanted it to be something that at the end of the day didn't take me all that long to do, but was at least effective. Something else that was sort of interesting about this is I actually posted like the in progress of it on Instagram. I think it's like a story or something, and then I like hated it and I walked away from it for like a few days, and then I was like, oh shit, I shared that online, maybe I should finish it. And then I sort of found like a renewed interest in doing it. So that's how we got here. Oh, what you just saw, it flashed for like a real quick instant, so you can go back and look at it. There's like a straight line that shot down her forearm. All I did was create a new layer, and then I drew a straight line to loosely measure her forearm, and then I transformed it over to her other arm to make sure that the lengths seemed like they could be, you know, accurate, and then I just deleted that layer. So it's just sort of like a fun goofy thing you can do for that. So here, I can't remember the name of the brush that I used for this, but it's like one of the messy brushes that you can find in Procreate. I recommend, instead of getting hung up on the specific brush I use, just look at sort of the reasoning for using it, which was to create this sort of slightly damaged look. I wanted to use a lot of natural looking mediums, so then for instance, to do sort of like this tan line, this like light skin, I just used the pencil again and you put that in as white and lowered the opacity. Then the background was all done using the same brush as I did her skin with. Also, when I painted her skin originally, you could see that I put down like the lighter layer and then a darker layer got underneath, and so that was just me filling in all those gaps under the lighter layer with a darker color using the same brush. And so now we're just sketching in the dreads that are coming down from her hair, or from her head. It is hair. And filling that in with the exact same methodology that I did with the other part, with her like skin and everything. And that's basically the piece now. I put a little gradient at the bottom, but nothing fancy. So in my next video, I'm going to go over a lot of these last minute tweaks that you see here, and that way you can sort of see how I do some of that. So I hope you enjoyed this one, a little quick hit. And if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks a lot, guys. And if you're looking for me on the internet, these are the places where you can find me.